Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Katie and today we are unboxing, swatching and creating with the August UpCrate. Before we crack on with that, please make sure you have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and to really help the channel out, why not give me a like and say hi in the comments. Anyway, shameless plug out the way, let's have a look at what we have inside. This month's featured artist is Gillo Beans and I really like this print. There's just something a little bit nostalgic about it. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's a style I like and I probably would have liked a while ago as well, so I like it, is basically what I'm trying to say. We also have the UpCrate magazine, which tells us about the goodies we have in the box, as well as featuring the artist further and competition winners too. But anyway, let's talk about what we've got inside, shall we? First of all, we have the Koh-i-Noor Hardmouth Polycolour 3800 colour pencils, and these have featured before in various boxes, whether it be UpCrate or Scroll Box, and I think they're pretty good. We have Chromium Orange, Light Olive, I'm going to assume it's a Sky Blue, a Blush Pink, and French Pink with finally a Pyrrole Red. We have the Brunswick Holland Fine Liner brush pen set and they have 6 colours in there. We have a burgundy colour, a very deep brown, a yellow ochre, a soft pink, a light blue and a deeper blue. They have a brush tip at one end and a fine liner at the other. I think the paper that we are working with is a little bit too thirsty for the fine liners, but the brushes seem to work okay. We also have 4 paint markers by Amsterdam and they have several nib sizes. We have 3 small ones and 1 slightly chunkier one, and they are in a light blue, a tealy blue, again another yellow ochre and a pink, and that pink one is for the larger pen. We also have a Graphmaster acrylic marker too, and this is a brand I don't think I've used acrylic marker wise, and that is in a very nice lime green, we'll say. And of course our surface that we have to work on is an Artspace sketchbook, and that is a mixed media. It's quite nice, lovely thick paper. For 180 GSM it feels a little bit thicker, it has quite a tooth to it and is quite a lovely sketchbook. This month's UpCrate battle prompt is Sketched Dreams, and I could not think of a better subject than my beloved and best little buddy Chester. I could have sketched out my dreams, but mine are just weird. I have strange dreams about food attacking me and just weird things, and I thought what would be better than to speculate over what my lovely pooch might dream about instead. And also with those yellowy browny tones that we've got in the box, it just seems perfect. It's the right colour scheme. Now I did have to elaborate a little bit because it's not entirely Chester coloured. So by adding a bit of that soft pink marker on there, it just added a bit of a highlight as well. I did have to improvise a little, but I kind of like how this turned out. Now the paint markers are actually really good paint markers, but I don't think they were quite right for large areas on this paper, if I be honest. Like I say, it seems more like a paper which you would use pencil and coloured pencils on, crayons, etc, etc. I think anything ink based, it just might be a little bit too thirsty, and that's not a bad thing, but I think for the amount of paint marker I put down, yeah, most of that's probably gone on there now. But as you can see, whilst I'm adding these pencil details in, the tooth on there is lovely and it just accepted it very nicely. It was a little bit thirsty for the Brunswick twin tip pens, but as long as you use the brush, it wasn't too bad. You'll see in a minute there are areas where the pen side, the fine line side rather, yeah, it doesn't quite hold out as well, but that's okay, I'm sure it'll work just fine on a different surface, maybe Bristol board, but yeah, the fine liner side, it was a little too thirsty, and I did notice on the lighter colours when I was swatching them out earlier, when I used the fine liner on there, it just didn't massively show up. However, what I was surprised about with these pens is they went over the coloured pencil really well. I thought there'd be a little bit of resistance there, but actually they did really well on there, and it was perhaps just the paper they'd got a problem with. It was too thirsty, the paper was. It happens, it's okay. Now, it does feel like a bit of an odd box this month, and I'm not complaining because I actually do think we've got a nice generous amount of supplies. We've got a whole pack of pens, we've got a sketchbook this time as well. I also think we've been given a good selection of coloured pencils and a good selection of paint markers, so I definitely think the value was there. However, placing them all together I'm not too sure about. Like I say, it's a mixed media sketch pad and it does take that mixed media, we'll give it that, but it's a little bit thirsty for anything ink based, and I don't know if I would trust it with a wash of watercolour. I think it might just soak that up a little bit too much. However, it's a great sketch pad for jotting down your ideas, so I'm actually quite glad I've got one of them because there is a certain inky month coming up. And if anything, I'll need somewhere to sketch those ideas out, so I guess that's what this book's going to be used for. I think maybe a cartridge paper would have been better, something not quite as toothy, but perhaps nothing as smooth as Bristol board, and I think this would have been perfect, but it's not terrible either. I don't really know where I'm going with this, bear with me. So what would a little Chester dog dream of? Well, he's a very busy chap. He's 2 years old, so he still has a bit of puppy brain, but luckily he hasn't quite got as much energy now, and after a rather large walk I managed to get him to settle. I didn't draw him from life, but I managed to get some good photos. He's not quite still enough to do a life drawing of, so to speak. So at the moment he is particularly wild about 3 main soft toys. He has his Christmas Sprout, which has survived since Christmas, which is good. He's got his duck, which he had last year, and with the fact it's lost one of its feet, it's doing pretty well. And he's also got his narwhal. When he's not going around stealing my slippers and my shoes, then these are the ones he usually goes for. Now, what else could a dog dream about? Well, he loves to play fetch, so obviously I have drawn his favourite thing ever, which are balls. He just loves chasing them, and he is quite partial every lunchtime to have a bonio, which is like a bone-shaped dog biscuit, for his afternoon snack. In reality, I'm pretty sure my furry friend here is probably dreaming about actually managing to catch a squirrel. It's coming up to autumn and all of the squirrels are everywhere, and they're obviously hiding food away for winter, so they're on the ground. Yeah, and Chester, he needs to chase after them and make sure that doesn't happen. So that's probably what he's actually dreaming about, but I thought this would be a little bit nicer than what he'd do to a squirrel. I do hasten to add though, we make sure that would never happen. He's always on a short lead when we see squirrels knocking about. Anyway, that is what I have created with this month's box. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I want to say a massive thank you for watching. There should be some fabulous things on screen now that I think you'll enjoy. And if you're still here, we have some bonus Chester pictures. All of him doing his second favourite thing, which is sleeping. If you've made it this far, why not write Chester as a good boy in the comments, and I'll be sure to pass it on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.